Leaving an abusive relationship is not an easy thing to do. And once you do it, you expect it to be joyful and amazing experience because you now have this newly found freedom away from the shackles of your toxic partner. But that's not always the case, as reality dawns on you that it's not as smooth sailing as you thought. A negative wave of emotions begin to rock your life. It is rather paradoxical that letting go of someone who mistreated you hurts so much, but that's how it is. On top of all that, someone who's left a toxic relationship often experiences constant criticism and judgment from those around them as they bombard them with questions like, move on, there's a better life out there for you, or how can you feel bad and the relationship was toxic? And in the extreme end, they may even end up isolating them simply because they cannot understand what they are going through. And this ends up doing more harm than good, as the relationship in itself distorted someone's thoughts and reality and sense of reality, which is now reinforced by them as they cannot understand the situation. In this video, I'm going to examine why it hurts so much after leaving a toxic relationship. The first factor why it hurts so much after leaving a toxic relationship is the fact that we experience the same feelings of grief and loss as when we've lost a loved one. Being in any kind of relationship, we tend to make psychological and physical investment on our partners. So when we detach from them, we experience psychological losses like loss of the future that could have been, loss of time invested in the relationship, or even loss of their good traits like confidence or ambition. And this kind of loss leads to feelings of sorrow. To make this even worse, your feelings are not validated by others or even by yourself, simply because it's not easy to come to terms to the fact that you are mourning the loss of someone who made your life a living hell. Another factor which hurts even more is shaming yourself and feeling that you are a mistake. After leaving a toxic relationship, some of the common questions sitting in the back of your mind are something like, how could I fall for someone like them? Or how could I believe their lies? Or even, how could I not see that coming? Because of this, we end up harshly criticizing and judging ourselves and even feeling bad and embarrassed to embrace who we are. These feelings even cut deeper, and someone may resort to inflicting pain on themselves as they feel that they deserve the pain. And instead of being gentle and compassionate to themselves, someone may even neglect their own self-care, which ends up doing more harm than good. The third factor is loneliness. One often feels lonely when they are in a toxic relationship, as they've been deeply disconnected from their partner and from the world. Being in this kind of relationship is like a full-time job, as someone has to focus all their time and energy on their partners and on the relationship itself, as it's full of a lot of tension. These relationships also end up isolating someone from the things they loved and from their loved ones. And so, when one leaves this relationship, there's this gaping hole of a lot of time and space, but nothing to do. Coupled up with the fact that when someone was in the relationship, they ignored their needs and prioritized the needs of their partners. They are not familiar with this me time, and this leads to even further feelings of emptiness. You find yourself having more time and space, but with nothing worth focusing on. And this is a painful experience. The fourth factor is someone feels used. Toxic relationships are so draining and depleting, as toxic partners exploit you in every possible way just to get their needs met. They may use various tactics like gaslighting, guilt tripping, or smear campaign to get what they want. It's a place where you keep giving and giving without getting anything in return. And once you leave the relationship is when now you start realizing that someone used you to get their needs met. And this is a painful thing to come to terms with. You feel so worthless when you realize that the person you supported for such a long time only saw you as an oasis for their emotional, financial, and physical needs. What makes it even harder is when you think of the sacrifices you made to make them happy. In most cases, a toxic relationship will even leave someone with a ruined credit score or in debt. All this, and they live without showing any sign of remorse or even a thank you, which really hurts. The fifth factor is a toxic relationship leaves someone very low in self confidence. Being in a toxic relationship ruins someone's sense of self as they've been constantly degraded and made to think that they have no value at all. Also, they've been constantly called out that everything is all their fault, which makes them lose confidence in their own ability. So, when one leaves the toxic relationship, they've lost their assertiveness, they've lost the feeling that their opinions matter, they cannot stand for themselves, they feel that anyone can walk over them, and they also feel that they have no value they can offer to this world. All these bring about a general dissatisfaction in life, and someone may even feel that there is nothing worth living for, which is a painful place to be in. The last factor is someone may dread hearing from their toxic partners or stumbling on reminders about them. Toxic relationships can be traumatizing, and someone may easily be triggered. This means that someone may live their lives constantly watching out for triggers and wanting to avoid them. They may even panic when the phone rings or when they are in a place that reminds them of their toxic partners. Living life in this state of being alert is not a pleasant experience. Healing is a journey. It will take you to the depths of various negative emotions you may have never experienced before. It may feel worse than you anticipated, but just know that your feelings are valid and not everyone can understand what you are going through. It's also good to know that you now have the time and space to heal. The more effort and commitment you put in your healing journey, the more you will keep getting better and better. The emotions may be so overwhelming, and that's why it may be good for you to seek professional support to help you in this journey of self-discovery. That's it from me today, and if you need my help in your healing journey, click the link in the description and book a free call with me, and I'll show you how you can navigate this journey to reclaim the life you deserve. Thank you, and you deserve a better life.